Hi, and welcome back to our YouTube channel, Fulfill
the Game of Life.
Now, we're actually super excited to be here in Magoito Beach, and just like every other place we go, we simply don't find recording a video sitting in your room to be that fun, but it creates a couple of problems. I swear the sun is always on the wrong side, so you can't really see our face. We're aware of that. But just look behind us. This is majestic. And just like every other time we say this, the camera never does these types of things justice, does it?
The background is just amazing. The huge waves are just phenomenal.
It's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy. We came down here for the first time last night, and as we walk down these steep steps that we'll show you here, they're steep and it's a long walk, but you get closer and closer and you see the size of the waves and you see the size of the boulders, and it's awesome.
I can't wait for us to get to, where is it, Nazare, where they have the world's largest waves.
Yep, that's gonna be awesome. So that's gonna be in October. But anyway, you can hear the excitement in our voice. We are once again a little bit behind our timeline, and what we want to do is walk through the things that we saw in Italy and around Italy, and a couple of day trips that we took. And we don't know if we're going to make this one video or two videos. We'll see how this condenses. But we do know this is part one. Maybe part one of one or part one of two. But anyway, and then maybe the other thing is this. We do get feedback. We know we sound scripted on a lot of our old stuff. We're not scripting it anymore. We're just going to tell you what we remember. You know, relook at the footage and then kind of go back through what we remember. So no scripting. We'll just babble our way through this. I hope you enjoy that side of it as well.
And we might not have as much information to give you, but I guess we'll
wing it.
Exactly. We'll wing it.
We'll wing it. We're not your history teacher anyway, so if you get really curious, you can go look it up yourself. So with that, let's start off with, in Italy, we stayed in
Pulcinigo.
And we showed you a few of those things in the videos before, the palace.
The source of the Gorgazzo.
Oh, it was awesome. Wasn't that beautiful?
Amazing.
The colors of the water was beautiful. We took a little drone footage as we left. And as you can see, the village is beautiful here from above, and the waterways, just really cool. So we really enjoyed that. There were a couple of other things though as we were around Pulcinigo, that were a few castles. There was,
hang on, sorry, I still have to look at notes, so pardon me. Castello di Cordignano, Castello di San Martino.
Better her than me, you know.
I can't say it, but something like that. We'll put it up for you in text.
Exactly. So, you know, the castles here, they're really nice, make no mistake. But they compare age-wise, it's really noticeable. They are not anything close to the age of the castles that we saw in Portugal.
Exactly. As you can see here, I think one of these castles has a hotel in it, that or is a private residence, but it seems to have somebody living there.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different than what we saw in Portugal. Really nice, but just newer and a different type of architecture in the way that the walls were built. But we did enjoy it. A relatively close drive to where we were staying as well.
Another stop that we had very near where we were staying in Pulcinigo were the caves of Calderon.
Better you than me. Better you than me.
Oh my gosh, that's awful. I know I butchered it, but there you have it.
Yeah, and this was real close distance to where we were staying as well. We made a little trip over to the caves. We enjoyed it.
It was beautiful. However, I think what took away from it was that it looked like it was a little bit man-made.
Yeah, you could tell there was a natural cave there, but practically everywhere you walked into the deeper part of the caves, the caverns per se, you could see, say, equipment marks on the ceiling. You can see these big pillars here in the footage that are kind of reinforcements to the wall, but you can see that it's been dug out basically around it, and takes away a little bit from the it's not natural kind of fascination.
Yes.
But some of the water features.
Yes, were absolutely beautiful. We enjoyed it. It just like all the other things that we've seen, like the Gorgazzo. We just absolutely love these small adventures that we take every day.
Yeah,
almost every day.
Almost every day. It was a good road trip around Italy. And speaking of road trip, that's actually probably a perfect lead into our first official road trip that we took while we were in Italy. So we started that road trip, and it didn't go quite as the way we planned. But we're not gonna tell you that whole story. We're just gonna stick with our first stop on that road trip was
the Miramare Castle,
which was at the Italian Riviera. I believe we saw on a sign.
Yes.
You can see it's more of a large manor.
It looked like a large manor, but it was still absolutely beautiful. There was still on the coastline, you could see people on the rocks, because there wasn't a real sand beach. It was rocky, and they had a plateau where people could lay out in the sun and just bake and enjoy the Riviera. So it was really beautiful as well.
Yeah, as you can see as well here in the footage, there were people scuba, or maybe not scuba, but
snorkeling.
Snorkeling around, looking at the different type of wildlife that we assume is under the water. But it was nice. It's a nice trip, but it was very highly populated. Again, this was back in August. There were a lot of people. There was a lot of traffic, so we were kind of in and out.
Yes.
But we did enjoy it, so I hope you enjoyed the footage there. We were in the car and we were off. Now, I'm not going to tell you where we were off to, because that's not where we arrived at.
It was an accident. I think I was like, why do I see German? Why are the signs speaking German?
Yeah. So we finally, we kind of pressed the wrong button on the GPS. But anyway, we find ourselves approaching Austria.
Yes, and we happened to arrive at a bunker museum.
Yeah, this was pretty unexpected for us, and we'll just let our video from that event do the talking.
All right, now look, you gotta admit, that is so cool and completely unexpected. When we search Google Maps and just search things to see around here, this does not show up. We're driving up in the hills of Austria. We see a brown sign that says Bunker Museum. And you think, yeah, you know what? That'll be pretty cool. Let's go look at it. But admittedly, what I was picturing was one massive concrete bunker, probably one or two big guns. And instead, what you get is a multitude of guns, big bunker, built-in underground passages and sleeping quarters, and all of this heavy war equipment. Just another one of these completely unexpected, all you can do is smile type of scenarios that you just don't experience, or I've never experienced in my life. Maybe there's something like this in the US and I'm unaware, but this is so cool.
Now, wrapping up the Bunker Museum, I would say it was fascinating. It's not what we expected, just like we said in the video. But the one thing we didn't say in the video that I wanted to add is, once again, we were able to visit something that wasn't walled off and barred off and warning signs everywhere. If you wanted to climb up the ladders in the bunker, if you wanted to get inside the tank and climb up, you wanted to walk under the tank where it was being worked on, if you wanted to touch the guns, it was all completely open. And
unless we just can't read German.
Maybe. maybe we don't know how to read the signs. But we loved it. It was
really nice,
really cool.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it was just unexpected. So we really, really enjoyed that. That led us to a couple of other sites, though, as we headed into Slovenia,
Yes.
which was a first for both of us.
We actually stopped at a Russian chapel. And as chance would have it, a giant bus arrived with probably about 70, 80 tourists. As we were getting out of the car, they were also getting off the bus. So we had a huge line of people to get through to be able to see that chapel and take photos.
What do you do, right? We sat in the car kind of preparing a little bit. The bus pulls up, and then we're like, oh, we should have got out a little bit earlier. But anyway, the Russian chapel was cool. Honestly, it looked cooler online than it did kind of in life.
It was smaller than we expected it to be.
Much smaller, and all wood construction, but it was a really cool architecture, and it was worth seeing. We were happy to be able to walk up there and look at it and deal with all of the other tourists like us. So that was nice. Then we're back in the car, we're on the road, and we arrive at, no doubt, the high point of the first real road trip for us.
Yes, we arrived at Bled Castle, and again, as our previous journeys to visit castles, we arrived too late.
Is there a line?
No, it's closed.
Oh, it's closed. I thought it closed at 7.
No, it's 7, but the entry is, I think, 6:30 or something.
Well, what do you do? What do you do? Thank you.
They closed the last tour 5 minutes before we got there. So it was an amazing castle on the outside, and Richard took some awesome footage with Henry. And
yeah, I can't wait. The footage here you're going to see is just beautiful, pretty remarkable. This is a beautiful castle. I can't overstate that. Overlooking the lake, and the color of the water is, I don't know, it's captivating, and I don't know if I've seen it in the United States. I'm sure.
That deep of a blue turquoise color. It's
almost strange. I'm
awesome.
sure there must be some places in the U.S. that have water of similar color, but I don't know about them. The color here, just look at this in these videos. This is beautiful, and just hate missing the tour going up to the castle itself. But the drone footage, it says it all. It's beautiful.
And see.
Okay, so let's say, you ready? Look at it. So just in case we decide to make this 2 videos, we're going to end one of them right here, and we'll say this is the end of part 1. If you enjoyed this video, please
go ahead and give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.
Hit that button, subscribe, and tune back in for part 2, because part 2 actually, we're certain, is better than part 1. Part 2 is going to have what we think is the second best thing that we've seen here, and it's not one thing, but it's one area. So we'll give you a hint there, just as we did before, that the hills are alive, and we'll cut this video off and we'll pick up on the next video. So thank you for coming along.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
You're being ugly. Go take a nap. Give me that.
I think you need something to drink.
I think you need a nap. It's nap time for...
Ow.
Yeah, you need a nap.
Don't do that.
Shh. Just don't speak. Turn the...
Don't touch the camera. No.
Go to bed. Get out. Get out. Or... Coke.